having me back again. I so appreciate it. I enjoy coming here and speaking to you guys quite a bit. Just a little bit about me if you weren't here last year whenever I spoke. My name is Robin Wilson. I put a business card on, that little tiny thing is my business card. Those are my small business cards. That's why they're small. I have others for my big business ones. The reason that they've asked me here is because this is what I do. I have an agency that does social media marketing. And we started out doing social media marketing for small to medium businesses. And we started in 2013. And in 2013, it was kind of simple. If you were a small business owner, you could post stuff, and as long as you get people to like your page, you get tons of reach every day. It was kind of simple. And then early 2014, Facebook and its shareholders, I would assume, decided that they would like to make this more of an income generating business. And so all of the algorithms that used to push all your feed out to anybody who's liked your page overnight went to nothing. I mean, I have my clients calling me going, what happened? That post, 2 people saw that post. Nobody has seen this. What happened? I'm like, hang on. And they didn't make an announcement. They didn't tell anybody. It was just the reality of how it was at that point. So in 2014, we got to learn how to do our business all over again. We got to learn all about Facebook ads, and now it was a pay-to-play format. And if your business wanted to get seen, you had to be willing to invest in some Facebook ads. So we learned our business again. And when we first started in 2013, we just did small businesses because we had such a passion for the entrepreneur. And you may know some of them. Repurposed Boutique in Carthage. She's one of our clients. Sophie Shoes in Joplin. She's downtown now, but she used to be, when we first started with her, she was over at a little strip center over by Gasano's. And several others, but they were varied. They would be insurance agents, dentists, boutiques. You just never knew who your client was going to be. And then in 2014, we kind of expanded outside of our borders here, and we had a restaurant in Chicago called Flow, and a fitness center in Sacramento, or a chain of fitness centers in Sacramento called Fitness 19. And so we had gone beyond our borders a little bit. We even had a lady who sold online piano lessons in Boston, Massachusetts. And she would do videos and teach you how to play. She's still out there. It's Easy Piano Style. She's a lovely lady. So, but in 2013, there was really nobody that was doing it as a service to small business owners. The big companies like Oreo and Coca-Cola, Pepsi, they had social media managers that worked for them, and they would create some great content. Come on in. Come on in. They would create some great content, but they were pretty much the only ones. The national brands were really hitting it. And then our passion for small business owners came from the fact that the small business owners had no way to compete with the bigger stores. Like, couldn't afford billboards or radio or TV. They couldn't compete in the ad market whenever it came time to buy ad spend. They were stuck at midnight. That's where their commercials would get put. Or they had horrible time slots. And so we started reaching out. We created a plan, a social media plan that we could help them, and it would be affordable, work in their budget, and they would have some part in it too. They would have some buy-in. And so that's kind of where we started our business. In 2015, and I don't know if you guys talk about this in any of your marketing classes, but in 2015, we discovered something called niche marketing or niche marketing, whichever way you pronounce the word. And the definition of niche marketing is concentrating all marketing efforts on a small but specific and well-defined segment of the population. Niches do not exist, but are created by identifying needs, wants, and requirements that are being addressed poorly or not at all by other firms. It's really looking for opportunities where you can just come in somewhere and specialize. And developing and delivering goods and services that satisfy them. And as a strategy, niche marketing is aimed at being a big fish in a small pond instead of being a small fish in a big pond. And it's also called micro-marketing. So to tell you what this looks like is we decided in 2015 that we needed to head down a niche. We needed to niche down our business because every different business that would call us to engage us to run their social media for them, every one of them we'd have to stop and concentrate on that business and go, who are their customers? What voice does the business have? What message do the people need to receive? What will they engage with? And we just had to really fall in love with that business and figure out how to get in front of their people, and not just get in front of them, but get a message in front of them that they would engage with. And so think about that. If one week your new client is an insurance agent, and the next week your new client owns a dog grooming business, and the next week the business that they have is a commercial carpet cleaner. And so my brain was about to explode. Every time I would be like, oh my God, who will be looking for commercial carpet cleaners? Who are the people? What are their titles? Where do they hang out? What picture will they engage with? It was just crazy. And so we weren't able to scale. And we really couldn't grow because it was so much effort to take on a new client that scaling was impossible. And I don't know if you guys have talked about scaling. So the definition of scalability is the characteristic of a system, model, or function that describes its capability to cope and perform under an increased or expanding workload. A system that scales well will be able to maintain or even increase its level of performance or efficiency when tested by larger operational demands. So could I take on 20 new businesses next month that all had a different audience, all had a different voice, all had a different agenda? Could I do that? And I could, but I couldn't make any money at it. Like, it would take so much manpower and think tanks and creativity. There's just no way I could. And so I had the luxury of learning the auto industry from the inside. I was hired by Roper Kia to be their social media manager, and they wanted me on staff. They wanted me there. And even though I argued with them and went, I'm going to be running my business from your business. They're like, we understand, but we know we need you here. And they were transparent with everything. So I knew every income revenue stream there was in the dealership. I knew who the audience was for them, how many different audiences there were. Like for the parts department, there's a wholesale part, there's the retail part, and how do we get in front of each one of those? The finance department had products they sell, from Gap to extended service warranties to Simonize that protects your paint. Those are all income generators. And so I got to learn all of this from the inside out, where I wouldn't have known that if I were just coming to handle their marketing for them. I would just think I was doing their new and used cars. And so I got to learn exactly how profitable each one of these departments is. And so we decided in 2015 that we were going to head in the automotive direction. We were going to go after other dealerships that needed our help. And we didn't have to look far, because none of them are doing social well. They're all still doing the same thing, radio, TV, print, at like the tune of $150,000 a month, right? That's craziness. I mean, that's like the general ad spend for a dealership in any market is about $100,000 to $150,000 a month. And those, not even talking about digital or social, just those three platforms. And so I'm like, holy cow, we can help them so much more, because I don't know about you, but I always think as a consumer, I had my cable shut off, so I watched Hulu and Netflix because I wasn't ever watching live TV anyways. So it was like, why am I paying $100 a month for this? So I went to Hulu and Netflix. I don't listen to radio, so they can't advertise to me there. And I can guarantee you I haven't read a newspaper. Matter of fact, when that little guy comes around about once a year throwing that one in my yard that's like free, try out our paper, I want to know where he lives so I can go throw it back. So for me as a consumer, none of their tactics would work. They would never reach me. But if they had something in my device, they would, because that's where I'm at. And if you go to any restaurant and look around at the tables, you'll see where everybody's attention is at. And if you as marketers are not going to where the attention is and following that instead of following the traditional patterns that have been laid out, you'll be missing the boat and you'll be behind trying to catch up going, oh my gosh, those people got it. What do? We don't know how to do social media. And so we developed and perfected a system that we could scale with auto dealerships. And we still do small businesses, but we don't take on as many of them anymore. Matter of fact, we have a meeting to decide whether we're going to anymore. Because it's like, if I'm not clear on who your, what we call an avatar, who your avatar is, who your customer persona is, if you're not clear on it, I can't be clear on it. So if you know who your person is, she works at the school, she's 25 to 40 years old, she has 2 children, she shops at Kroger's, she drives a Chevy. You need to know those things about your customer. You need to nut that down all the way to know who it is. And if you as a small business owner do, there's a good chance that we'll do business with you. But otherwise, they really need to hire an intern and do it internally. So once we perfected that with the dealership, we moved on, and we have just duplicated that, and now we can scale because we've got the system down. And now, mind you, that doesn't mean that we do everything the same for every dealership, but we know where all of their profit centers are the same, and we know where the highest income generating is and how to draw those people in, and we know how to work within their database, and we call it equity mining or data mining their existing or past customers too. But we never, ever take on a client that we haven't gone and met face-to-face. For example, Monday and Tuesday, Monday I was in San Diego visiting with 2 dealerships that were probably 15 miles apart. And one was in the population was heavy, like 70-30 Hispanic. Okay, so they needed probably a majority of their advertising dollars and marketing dollars have to be in Spanish advertising. We have to be able to tackle that. When I went to the other dealership, they're like, oh, we got less than 5% in the same city. So you have to know those things, because if you're popping up, and one of the first lessons I ever learned, I did a cutest kid contest at a dealership in El Paso, Texas. And I had visited there, but my graphic artist hasn't, and I hadn't translated to her that I don't know that I saw a Caucasian while I was there. It's very military. It's right on the Mexico line, or it's just right there on the border. And so she created me a graphic for the cutest kids contest, and this cute little blonde hair, blue-eyed girl in this little dress, little daisies everywhere. And I'm like, and I didn't even think about it until like the first 10 people entered, right? And it was just like little Latino boy, little Latino boy, little Latino girl. And I was like, there was not a Caucasian in there anywhere. And I'm like going, we probably messed up on that one. So now we're real mindful of that. We always ask the dealer what their Polk data, their demographic is, and you need to know that too with any business you're going into. Who is the demographic around you? We live in a kind of a bubble here in Southwest Missouri where we don't have that diversity. But the third store that I went to yesterday, those 2 were on Monday. The third store I went to yesterday, they're like, yeah, we're like 100% Caucasian. But if you go 3 miles that way, it's heavy Asian. 3 miles. 3 miles made the difference. And I was like, that's just craziness. But we have to know those things, or we're creating images and messages for people who are not going to receive them because they're not in anything, you know what I'm saying? They're not the visual. If I like have nothing but Latinos in an area that's 100% white, then the message is not going to translate to them because it doesn't look like their neighbor. It doesn't look like the guy they go to church with. And so that's kind of really important for you. So that's my history. That's all of the boring stuff. That's all of where I come from. What we're going to learn today is how to relate that to what you guys are doing. So let's just talk about what are some of your favorite social media sites that you hang out on most of the time?
Facebook.
Okay. Front row nodding. Facebook also? Are you on Facebook right now? Okay, how about you?
Oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
Facebook occasionally.
Okay. No other social sites? You're ever on Pinterest? You're never looking around on Pinterest? Oh, look, he's like, I like Pinterest. Twitter. Twitter's not a real big thing in this area, but it is in other parts of the country, and we have to be mindful of that too, because like I would easily discount it because people around here aren't big on tweeting, but then you had another area where Twitter would be in the top position over Facebook because they want to get that quick message out fast. So then how active are you on Facebook, any of you?
I run my business off Facebook.
Okay, and what is your business?
I make stuff for babies and little girls.
And so you have a business page? Okay, so you're on there a bit, like a couple of hours a day, more than? Okay, and how about you?
About 5 times a day. My work actually has a team page, and I do that all the time. I mean, I kind of need to be, because we post updates and stuff like that
Right.
on there, that kind of thing.
Cool. Anybody else? You know you're on social. You guys are just not telling the truth over here.
What's Facebook?
Whatever.
Okay, so
Founder.
yeah, so let's talk about that because there's a lot of times you'll see articles that go, Facebook's dead, marketing there is no, don't do it. No more Facebook, right? So this first handout that I gave you guys, which is social media for small business, we're going to look at that bottom image right there and the one that says Internet's water cooler. This stuff is pretty interesting. And this is July 2015, so this is a year old, okay? And so 1.49 billion people on Facebook each month. That's a big number. That's probably more than you need to be successful. 800 million on WhatsApp.
Never even heard of that.
It's to text. It's for texting over internet. 700 million people on Messenger each month. And I can tell you that most of my clients communicate with me through Facebook Messenger. It's crazy. 300 million people on Instagram each month. Anybody visit Instagram this week? Yeah? Okay, so that's all the stuff on the left-hand side of the column, okay? Those are all platforms that are owned by Facebook. Facebook owns all 4 of those. So they have that market. They have all of that market. Maybe they're relevant? Okay, so if you go to the right-hand side of that same image right there, so 1.5 billion searches daily are conducted on Facebook. And I'm telling you, that's where I start every time. If I need to know what the number to Mythos restaurant is, or I need to contact them, I go to Facebook, I type in Mythos, I go down and I dial from Facebook. The second one down, 1 billion people offered access through internet.org. Next one down, 850 million using groups on Facebook. Any of you in a Facebook group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I probably have 20 Facebook groups that I'm a part of. And I'm going to tell you what's really interesting about this. We're going to go through the rest of these real quick. So 450 million people are using events on Facebook. Have you ever used an event or responded to an event? Okay. So it's just another level of platform. And then 40 million small businesses are using Pages. Now, I'm going to talk about Pages for a minute because it is the way that you will do your business if you're on a mobile device. I call regular Facebook Blue Facebook. I bury it on the last page of my smartphone. You have to keep swiping until you get to Blue Facebook. My notifications are turned off, and I check it maybe once a day because I don't have the time to get sucked into the vortex of cat videos and Donald and Hillary and whatever else. I don't have the time for it. So we conduct all of our business on a Pages app. It's I probably showed it to you guys last time. It's a little white square with a yellow. And then all of our pages are housed in there. And I don't have to look at any of the public feeds. I just go to all of my pages. They're all listed in here somewhere. And so I can scroll through and grab whatever business page that I want to and work on it from here. And it keeps me out of that getting sucked into the time that I don't have to give up. So these are all owned by Facebook. So if you look at the demographics, or the information they have on here, the average, 40 plus minutes per day spent on Facebook per person. That's an average. So if you do none and she does 3 hours, she's covering you. 20. Right? I know. It's crazy. So 20% of the time on the internet is spent on Facebook. So when they polled everybody and said, of how much time that you're on the internet every day, how much time do you spend on Facebook? 20%. That's a lot. 70% of Facebook users have increased time on the site over the last year. It negates what you said. So they're using it more and they're using it longer. And all demographics. I tell you, I have a 22-year-old that I'm constantly telling her to get off of Blue Facebook. You got work to do. So just that social media platform, just that one, how powerful is that? Okay? If you'll turn this over real quick, on the back side, we're going to talk about small business owners. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I need everybody to stand up. Okay, so if we talk about small business owners, 28.8 million small businesses in the United States, 28.8 million small businesses. And those are designated as businesses under 500 employees. I know it sounds like big, but there's a lot of them that fall into that category. And they have 56.8 million employees. So they are strong. They're strong. But this is going to shock you right now. Okay, so let's say that you guys account for all the businesses that started up this year. Okay? I need you to sit down, you to sit down, and you get to sit down. And now look around at everybody. This represents the people that will still be in business after 2 years. Okay? These ones will not. Okay? In the back row, you're going to sit down. In the back row, you're going to sit down. This represents how many will still be in business after 5 years. Okay? And now you're going to sit down, and you're going to sit down. These are the businesses that will be left at 10 years. These 3. And so, I mean, when you think about the numbers of us and why are they failing? So why are they failing? You guys can sit down. So it's our job, it's everybody's job to think about, first of all, how can we support small local, always? I mean, when you make a choice to go shopping for whatever you need, you just go to a one-stop shop? You just go to wherever and shop? Or do you stretch your brain and look for those small local vendors that you can do the same business with? The people who are your friends, they're your neighbors, they're the people you go to church with, your kids play ball with them, the small business owners that are swinging every month to be successful. The only people on the face of this earth that will start a business and work 80 hours a week to avoid having a 40-hour-a-week job. So are you guys supporting them? Because if you're going to be one, you should support them. If you're going to be a small business owner. So that's so important to me, and I'm probably a huge cheerleader for this, but I don't shop at big box stores, and it's difficult. It's a challenge. I don't go to Walmart. I go to a grocery store because that's what they are. They're grocery stores. I don't go to whatever the next X name is. I go to a department store, or I go to a shoe store. I go to wherever I have to go that will support my small local business. It's not always possible. It's not going to be always possible, but you should give it your best effort. If you have a baby and you need baby things, you should probably be visiting her page and seeing what does she have that I have to take a gift anyways. I wonder if she has something really cool I could take that nobody else is going to bring. And it's work, but these are your neighbors, these are your friends, and you should be supporting them. Between the middle of 2009 and the middle of 2013, 60% of the jobs that were created were from small businesses. And if you think about the economic climate during that time, it was horrible. Cash for clunkers, mortgage meltdown, businesses going under, AIG, too big to fail. And during that time, 60% of the jobs that were created from small businesses. So the struggle that small business owners have is how do they compete? How do they market against the big boys? And I honestly believe that their only choice is social. It's affordable, it's accessible to them, they don't have to be a genius to do it, and it's getting their message out to their audience. So where do they start? You're a small business owner. I know I need to do social media. How often do I post? How little do I post? Which platforms do I need to be on? Gosh, it's crazy. It's overwhelming. And what happens? So small business owners, if you are one or you know, are in charge of quite a few things. Ordering supplies or goods that they're going to sell, scheduling employees, balancing budgets, paying utilities, hiring and training new employees, inventory control, banking, cleaning, mama. They're everything. They don't have the money for an accountant. They don't have the money for a janitor. They don't have somebody that's going to market for them to get the stuff that they need for their store. They are it all. They do it all. And so how do they squeeze in? Remembering to post to Facebook. Remembering to get that on Pinterest. You know, tweeting that they got a sale. Let's pop on Snapchat and let them know it's a super secret Snapchat sale. You know, how do they remember to do that? And so I believe, and when I've talked to some of my clients that we've moved from our services on purpose, moved from our services to an intern situation where they took somebody in-house to do it, there's got to be a number one and a number two. Because the minute that you call in sick and there's nobody else, all of your employees are high school kids and there's nobody else to fill it, and that was your day to schedule all your social media, it's shot because you got to go cover the store. It's your store. we can do. So what falls off every time is your marketing. Every time the one thing that they'll give up will be that thing. I'll catch up with it later, and they don't. And so I've given you this really cool social media checklist for business. And so if you're in business or you know a business owner, share this with them. And so this is really kind of cool, and these are two-sided too, so it's actually 5 pages there. So defining your target audience, that's going to take some sitting, quiet time to learn that and to know who your target audience is. Not who's shopping there right now, because you may have, if you own a boutique or you own a store, and the majority of your customers right now are high school girls that have a $30 a month allowance. They're probably not your ideal customer, but who's their mom? What does she look like? Where does she work? How much money does she make? What does she drive? Those are the things you need to know. So whoever your target audience is, identify the challenges they're struggling with and the most common questions that they have. Then you want to sit down and figure out how to address the pains that they have, because we're not supposed to be selling. We're supposed to be solving problems. So my kid spits up all the time. I really need a really cute bib that's easy to wash and I can bleach it at the same time too. Do you got anything like that? You know? That's what you're solving a pain point for me, not a I need something with a silly bear on it. You know? So what's the pain point, and solve those things. So that's what really marketing is all about. And then if you'll flip over, these are some really good kind of tips to take you through the things that you should be thinking about if you have a website and you blog, because blogging is great for SEO. How often are you blogging? Who's in charge of blogging? What are we blogging about? Are we setting those out ahead of time? Are you and your number 2 talking about that? Who's going to do that this month, and what's it going to be about? Blogging is one of the best things to drive traffic back to your website if you have one. It's loaded. If you load them with those SEO words, they're very searchable. Are you going to have any offers in the month of October? Are you going to have any sales or offers that you want to create? You've talked about them. We've got these awesome glasses at this optician's office, and we're going to put the Nauticas on sale. In the month of October, we're going to be 20% off, and that's an offer that we're going to push out. So list them down. Make those lists so you know ahead of time. You're not flying by the seat of your pants. And then you can go through all of the Facebook checklist, things that how many times a day are you going to check and respond to people? How often are you going to post? What are you going to post? And you make this calendar ahead of time, you and your number 2. And if there comes a day whenever you can't get to it because business happened at your business, then you call number 2 and go, hey, if you'll look at today's schedule, I need you to pick that up for me. Instead of, I need you to create something. It's already all mapped out for them. You've already sat down on a Sunday and worked out your whole calendar for the month. If you use Twitter, there's a Twitter checklist on here also. YouTube is huge. Everybody know who owns YouTube? Google. So if you got Facebook owns Instagram and all the rest of this fun stuff, and Google owns YouTube. So really right now, kind of the 2 biggest search engines there are out there is Facebook and Google. So if I were going to go from one social media platform and add a second one to my business, I would go Facebook and Instagram are really kind of combined. I mean, you can do your advertising on both of those platforms at the same time. But my second one would be YouTube. And pop out and look at some free YouTube videos on how to optimize your videos so that they get pushed up in the search rankings, that you're putting your keywords in there, that your title must match your description. It must be labeled back in there again, that there's some continuity, and that you have a schedule. If you are posting with regularity on a regular schedule, let's say every Monday you're putting a video up, something short, it could be a minute long, it doesn't matter. If you're doing that every Monday because you've become regular, because these platforms need content to be relevant. If nobody ever posted to YouTube again, would anybody go back? No, they need you creating new content to push up there. And so whenever you do with regularity, they're like, oh, this is a trusted partner of ours, right? So they'll push you back up in the search engine higher. And then they'll give you even a higher ranking on Google in a Google search review because they own YouTube. They want you to post there. So work through a YouTube posting calendar also. Just, I mean, I go out sometimes and I'll Google top 10 ideas for a video because I just get vapor locked, you know, I'm like, I just can't think about it. And then I'll find one and I'll save it somewhere over to Dropbox and I'll go back and reference it when it's time for me to schedule next month's videos. I'll scan through there, find an idea, go shoot that as a video. Pop my phone out. I literally just pop my phone out. I have a little, It's called the Claw. It's a little tripod that like will fit over the side of my computer if you want it to. And I just shoot a video. It doesn't have to be professional. Matter of fact, probably the glossy, beautiful ones don't get as much traffic as the ones that, you know, they have these people that will shoot a video of them unboxing something they got. They're called unboxing videos. Okay, so I just got this new light in for my house, and now we're going to unbox it. And you watch them open the box. And I'm like, why am I watching them open a box? I go get my own box. And people sit there and watch the unboxing videos. Oh, and now it looks like this. And they're holding the camera like this, and they're trying to turn it over, and they're trying to open that package. And I'm like, holy crap. But, you know, we all just want content. So YouTube would be my second choice. Pinterest is a really good platform, but you have to make sure that you understand how Pinterest works. Pinterest is a really pretty picture that when you click on it leads back to your website. So it's always a hyperlink. It's not just something to look at. They're always hyperlinks. Matter of fact, they have to be, or you can't put them on. They have to lead you back to something that was related to that image they clicked on. So if you knew that about Pinterest. And then on Instagram, who knows why we hashtag?
Kind of like the keyword type thing.
Yeah, it's a search engine. I mean, it's its own search engine. So when you're posting stuff on Twitter or on Instagram, or if you have your Facebook feed set up to flow over to Twitter or to Instagram as soon as you post, make sure you're hashtagging correctly. So the little cute ones that are like a whole sentence with a hashtag in front of them are worthless. But if you are posting your stuff on Instagram and it's baby bibs, baby boy bibs, all of the hashtags that you can think of, moms, mom to be, all of the things that would be, if someone were searching, that they could find your item by, that's what you will hashtag it. And they have systems out there, some sort of like if this then that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of if this then that, IFTTT. So if this then that is a really cool app. Anybody used it? Use it? Okay. So if this then that, when you set up little recipes in there, so I say, if I have liked a picture on Instagram, please save it to my camera roll. That's a recipe that I've set up. Or if I post something on Instagram, push it over to Twitter. And I set up these connections, these recipes that do that. And there's like hundreds of them that you can set up. If I get an email that says receipt in it, please put it in this folder. If it comes in my Outlook account, please put it in this folder, anything that says receipt. So I set up all my if this then that recipes. And you can even set up autoresponders. And sometimes people will have recipes set up, like I'll post a picture. Like yesterday, I posted one and I hashtagged it San Diego, marketing, dealerships, auto dealerships. I went through all the hashtags I could. Like as soon as I posted it, I had like, within 5 seconds, I had like this many likes on it, which tells me that somebody set up an if this then that. If somebody posts something on Instagram with this hashtag, like it. Follow them. And so sometimes you have people following you that really aren't planning on it. But then you can go back out and make that connection to them. Like people who come and follow me, then I'll always message them back. Thank you for following me. I really appreciate it. And I do it, there's this one service out there. I can always see when the URL is attached to it that they've got this autoresponder on. And so I'll always message them back and go, I'm responding via hashtag a real person. It was great for you to follow me. I'd like to know more about your business. And I had a guy message me back yesterday and he's like, hey, hashtag a real person. It's good that you did. And I'm like, I don't like the automated auto follows, but. And then LinkedIn, everybody knows LinkedIn is generally B2B, business to business. So if you have a business that serves businesses, so let's say that you decide to start wholesaling to local boutiques, now you've become a B2B. Okay? And then that where you would make other business connections would be on LinkedIn. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan. I'm on there every day. Most of the general managers in the United States are on there of dealerships. The finance managers, the sales managers, all of the people that we want to represent are on there. And so that's a good place to make a connection and set yourself up as the expert. Okay, so now we know that the small business owner struggles with their social media. And we've looked at the checklist for fixing that. I mean, scheduling is the only way that you can do it. And now let's talk about Facebook ads. How many here use Facebook ads? Anybody? Have used them yet? Oh, you're going to love this. Okay, so one of the fun things that Big Brother did, Big Brother Zuckerberg, whenever you accepted your terms of service, whenever you set up your Facebook profile, I accept. You didn't even read it. You accept that we're going to collect cookies on everything you do, and we're going to use it to create a better user experience for you, right? We want to deliver you the best user experience, right? So I don't know if you've ever noticed, you go out to Amazon and buy a new pair of running shoes, you log back onto Facebook and there's an ad for the same exact color of shoes you just bought. Like, really? I already bought them. Why are you giving me an ad now? Well, those are retargeting pixels. So they've retargeted you. Anybody know what a pixel is? Pixel? Okay. So a pixel is a piece of code, and it's tracking, okay? So my website, if you go to my website has a piece of code in the header of every page. It's Facebook pixel, okay? So should I decide to target you, say that you've gone to my email campaign page and you've read one of my blogs, then I can come back in the minute you log back into Facebook. If I create that recipe, I can go send her my next blog that I wrote after that. So it would serve you up an ad that said, hey, thanks for reading my blog XYZ. I think you'd really like this one too. And then you click on it, it takes you straight back to that blog. I want to get you back on my website again. I want to get you back to my sales funnel. Okay? And so retargeting pixels, let's talk about auto dealerships. So let's say you go to an auto dealership's page and you're looking at Acuras. Okay, and you're going through all of their, let's go to Honda Accord. Let's go to Honda Accord. You're looking at all the Accords. You've gone to their page, you click the drop down and you're like, I'm interested in Accords. That's the model I like. And you browse around there for a little bit. Well, if I've done my job properly, I've put a pixel on that page right there. And so whenever you leave that site and you go back out to Facebook, there's going to be an Accord ad sitting there waiting for you. Did you get to look at all the models? We'd love to have you back. We got the new one in today, blah, blah, blah. Click here, it takes you straight back to the Accord page. Okay, I've retargeted you. And it doesn't even matter if you've liked my page. If you've liked my Facebook page or not, it doesn't matter. Your traffic went to their website, and then when you innocently went back to your Facebook profile, I followed you because I wanted to get back in front of you. And that pixel allowed me to do that. That pixel went, this person is this person on Facebook. Here's their ad. Okay? And now I've had the chance to gain more followers, more of an audience, and I got a chance to get back in front of you. You can even create these custom little recipes. Everything's a recipe to me. So let's say that you went to my dealership's website and you went to the service page. You need front-end alignment or whatever, and you looked around there and you probably decided you're going to go there, but your kids came running through and you never went over to the scheduler to schedule that service appointment. You kind of abandoned whatever you were doing by whatever distracted you next. So then a couple hours later, you log back into Facebook again, and I've created a recipe. I want all of the people that went to this page minus the scheduler. The recipe has to be you did this, but you didn't do this activity. Now, because you went there and didn't go here, you're going to get an ad that goes, hey, interested in service, I saw that you were interested in service on our website. It's really easy to schedule your service right here. And that ad goes right there and it clicks you straight to the scheduler. And you're like, oh yeah, thank God they did that. I was going to schedule my alignment. And so we get back in front of you again, all for your best user experience, get you back to what you were looking at that you abandoned so easily. And so those are retargeting pixels. That's one of the powers of Facebook marketing. Okay. The others are, so let's take a look at your green sheet, Facebook ads for small businesses. And this is if you're wanting to actually start doing some marketing on Facebook, some Facebook ads. This is kind of a real good sheet for that. So on here, I kind of did a screen capture of a market I was looking at. And I was just assuming a boutique. Okay, so I've set all the demographics around that. So I set my pen and said, go out 10 miles of Joplin, Missouri. Make a circle, go out 10 miles. And I want to target to everybody within this 10 miles of this dot. But I want them to be women. See, I checked the blue women. And I want them to be between 25 and 40 years old. So Facebook went through everybody in Joplin. That was a woman between 25 and 40. And they gave me a number. And it's highlighted over on the right in yellow. There were 17,000 people that are women within 10 miles of the dot that were between 25 and 40. And if you look down below that, it's telling me what my estimated daily reach would be. And so the first number right there that's in yellow, the 13,000, is on Facebook, and the others are on Instagram. So it's counting both of them in that mix. So I wanted to tighten it up just a little bit more. So if you look at the next one down, I added some criteria. And I'm like, okay, 17,000 is a good audience, but I want people who are interested in women's fashion and apparel buyers. They're the people who purchase women's fashion and apparel. And I want them to make between $50,000 and $100,000 because I have an upper end boutique. Okay? And so that brought them down just 1,000. I actually was pretty shocked at that. That the first category of people I pulled out, I only lost 1,000 people when I made their income be a minimum of $50,000. Okay? So we turn it over. And I played with it a little bit more. So now I said, okay, they've got to be women. They purchase women's fashion and apparel. They make between $50,000 and $100,000. Their interests are shopping and fashion. And now they must have that criteria, plus they must also have they must have this. They must be interested in online shopping. Because I'm going to send them to my e-commerce site. I want them to buy from my website. So when I did that, when they were also interested in online shopping, they purchased things online. That dropped it down to 12,000 people. And so now I'm pretty happy with that. I got 12,000 people who are in my age demographic who make the kind of money that I think they should to shop at my store, and they're interested in shopping online. So now I'm going to send them to my e-commerce site where my newest, brand new, little cute half boots are, and I'm going to send them to those $125 Steve Maddens and let them purchase them. I've got a good audience. I'm probably spending my money very wisely, and I would probably guarantee you that my cost per click on that ad would be under 50 cents to get them to my website. Is that a fair trade? Do you hate being targeted like that? But what about, you're going to see the ads anyways. Would you rather see ads of things you're interested in or things that, like, do you really care about a hunting tree stand? That ad pulls through?
For me to ignore that, yes.
There is a little magic button where you can ignore ads on Facebook, you know. You can click it, and you can ignore all ads.
But I still get the ads off of Google.
If you'll turn your page over, I'm going to show you the bottom square first. Don't pay attention to the cute little outfits in the top. Do the bottom square here first. Every time you go to place an ad with Facebook, these are the options. They want to know what your objective is. So do you want to boost your post, promote your page, reach people near your business, increase your brand awareness, send people to your website, get installs of your app if that's something that you have, raise attendance at your event, get video views, collect leads for your business, that's a new one, increase conversions on your website, increase engagement in your app, get people to claim your offer, promote a product catalog, or get people to visit your stores. So as you select which objective you have, then the next list of questions that you have is different. Now at the top, I put the picture of the garments there, and it has a little boost post right there. And about probably 80% of small business owners who are scared to tackle Facebook ads, they'll think that they're doing a good thing by boosting the post. That's why I put a little red X through it. They're like going to go right there to that, and they're going to go, oh, I got to do some advertising, boost that post. Well, when that happens, let me tell you what happens. So me, I'm a marketer. I've gone and selected my perfect demographic of people. I've got my 12,000 people that I want to market to. I've hand selected them. They're the people most likely to spend money online at my store. Okay? I bought and paid for them. And then you came along and boosted a post. You didn't get none of my people. You got what was left over. Because there's no targeting. There's no demographics. I mean, you can pick people who like my page and their friends, or they'll maybe give you about 4 demographics you can choose from, but you're going to get the scraps that are left over from what I've already laser targeted, and it's not worth your money. But if you'll look on the bottom again, there's that option to boost your post, right? So if you're boosting from this area, it's good. But if you're boosting from that cute little picture, it's not good. Okay, and the difference is that you're going to be in your ads manager creating the same demographics that I did for that image to go out to. Whereas here you're going to get like three to five options to push that boost out to. Make sense? Yes? If it doesn't, tell me. I'm good with that. Okay. So those are Facebook ads. They're usually always conducted in Ads Manager. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it, and Facebook has enough help topics out there that they'll help you find what Ads Manager is and how to use it. Facebook creates tons of videos on how to use it because they want to teach you how to spend your money on their platform. And so it's not hard, I promise. It was at first, but it's not now. They've made it a lot more user-friendly than it used to be. So what questions do you guys have about social media and marketing your small businesses? Are y'all all going to be business owners? You own your own business, do you?
I already was and failed.
And why do you think you failed?
A lot of it was because I didn't do the online thing.
Okay. So you missed the online piece.
15 years ago.
It wasn't readily available and easy,
I crashed with it.
did it? And what was your business?
Books.
Like used books? Okay.
Used and used.
Oh, cool. And did you have a brick and mortar or just, okay. And where was it here in Neosho?
It was in Hebrew, Arkansas.
Okay. Nice. That's a cool little community.
It was. And of course, just about the time that we were finally getting known to be there,
Right.
closed the doors.
So what's the next half of your life look like?
Getting my degree and going to work in a medical office.
Yes? That's cool. That's your passion. That's absolutely cool. And so how long have you had your business open?
Since 2009.
Okay. And so tell me about the baby things that you create. What are they?
I make binky holders and
Like the little snap-on things so they don't lose them? Okay.
custom burp racks and a new kind of bath towel that you don't have to sit there and mess with the hoods. It's actually an apron that you just stick your baby on. And it's actually a bath towel, but it's turned into an apron, so it's easier. I make diaper cakes out of the different baby stuff.
For baby showers? That's cool.
And then I do little girls' bows and tutus and outfit sets, custom throw pillows, wreaths with names or whatever on them. And it's pretty much just a 5-min.
And then is your Facebook page, are you set up to accept payments, or how do people pay you? They just meet you somewhere and write you a check?
PayPal.
Okay, PayPal. Okay. PayPal works great for whenever you don't want to have to worry about a different pay system. And then, did you say a business back here?
I don't own a business, but I'm going to be hopefully an accountant and then own my own library or something of the sort, hopefully. That also means I would like to sell my own book, like have a bookstore almost.
Right.
But it would be, to me, I would like to try to do it more or less like on eBay or Amazon kind of thing.
To be a supply. You got supply already.
Well, I can't store them right now.
They're in your basement. They're good. And you?
I don't have a small business. I'm not sure I even want to. I'm into marketing. I'd love to get into the social media marketing.
That is a business, so.
Right, but I don't know that I want to own my own, like work for someone maybe.
It's just you're going to have to plan on probably about 30% of your week every week will be spent in education. It moves that fast that if you don't, you're going to be way behind. So it's in my planner. I block it out every week, and it just is time blocks of an hour each time for education. And I know I probably spend on courses in a year $3,000 to $4,000, but they're evergreen, so I can use them, and then my team can use them, and we can, and then once you've signed up for them, then you're an alumni, and the next year, if there's any changes, you get all of the changes for free. So there's a lot of good online courses that are just targeted at that, the newest best. Instagram, there's an Instagram Academy, there's Marketing Impact Academy, there's just so many of them. But just make sure that you time block for that, because it'll change and it'll sneak up on you overnight. And there's times, I'm not even kidding you, I'll go log into Facebook to work and he's moved everything. Like it was all down the side and now I don't know where it's at. And if you don't know that you needed to hover up here, now it's all going to drop down and everything that was over here is gone. I'm like, I spent an hour one day just looking for stuff. I'm like, why? Like, send me an email. Here, we've moved all your junk and it's up here now. Oh, it's craziness. And then my team's calling me going, where's Ads Manager? And I'm like, hover over the gray at the top, it'll drop down. And so what is your business going to be? Or your business is? Yeah, you're going to have one? You're just going to run this college?
I don't know. I don't have that kind of time. I don't know.
You don't know? What do you want to do with your life? I mean, where do you work right now?
Downstairs.
That's it. And are you still going to school?
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll graduate when?
I'll graduate from here in May and from U of A in 2 years from May.
Woo, pig suey. Good job. Okay. Do you have a business? Do you want to have a business? She says, well, she's selling something. She's making something. What is it?
No, we have a small farm, but it's
That's a business?
small
Like, and what do you raise on your farm?
beef.
Okay. It's my favorite thing. I was in San Diego and had dinner Monday night, and they went to this beautiful seafood restaurant, and I'm like, I'll have the filet. I'll have some potatoes. And he's like, you're on the West Coast. I'm like, I know, but I just really like a good steak. So anybody else want to tell me about their business aspirations or what's going on? Look, she's got a side gig she's not telling us about. What is it?
I know. Yeah. My husband's a farmer, so we raise beef and grain.
That's a business too.
That's a business, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope that I've shed a little bit of light on social media marketing and especially small business stuff. I beg you guys, seriously, I beg you to please do business in the small business community. Find out who they are. Sometimes it's hard. You have to walk in the door and go, what do they have to offer? Because they don't have any marketing budget or they don't know how to do this. And especially for you, that's a good place to start picking up clients and going, I'd really like to take this off your plate. Maybe I could help you with some social media marketing, and you get your feet wet by helping somebody in the small business community. But support those people because they helped this economy to rebound. When the big guys left us on our face, the small business owners picked us up and gave everybody jobs again. And that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of risk that they take on. You saw how many fail in the first 2, 5, and 10 years. I mean, you see how many's left. And these people, knowing those statistics, because I guarantee they didn't go get an SBA loan without them pointing that out and telling them, you understand, you're going to collateralize this because there's a good chance you're going to fail. So if you can support them and help them stay active, by all means, do it. On the back, I've given you guys my business card, but every way there is to reach me, except for my address, if you want that, you can have it, is on that orange sheet. So that's my contact. That's all of our social media sites, and probably not all of them. I didn't put Snapchat on there. But you can reach us at any time. Go check out what we do. Nothing is clean and polished on our sites. Like, we don't just put like finished stuff. It's like a day in the life all the time. Like, I may take a picture of my shoes at the airport terminal and go, my shoes are in Los Angeles today. My shoes are in Web City today. It doesn't matter. It's all just content, and people will just engage with you because you're real people. So if you guys don't have any questions, I'm all good.
You guys have questions?
I drug them out of them.
I'm curious.
Sure.
Okay, so for instance, Repurpose. I live in Carthage, and I love that little shop.
Yeah.
And I like them on Facebook. So when you said, narrow it down and things like that, but could I click on their page and see everything, or would I still not,
All the things that she has for sale?
yeah, just like anything
You would see a lot of her stuff right now. We're actually building her a website right now, which should be live, I'm hoping, by the next week or so, where you will be able to go and see all of her inventory. Right now, she's trying to keep as much of it on Facebook and Instagram as she can. All of her looks, she'll do lookbooks, whatever. But probably in the next 2 weeks, you'll be able to click there, go out to her website, and see all of her inventory and shop from there if you wanted to.
So, but does, like what you were talking about with the demographics and things like that, is that for feeds?
Nope, it's for ads that are going to pull.
For their- Okay.
So whenever you see something pull into your feed, like right now we're running ads for her, just Facebook ads because we're not driving traffic to the website because it's not done yet. So we're targeting a couple of different people. So right now we're targeting, she carries really cute plus size clothing and nobody knows it. And so I told her, I'm like, Heather, people got to know that you carry this stuff. I mean, I had a yard sale for a lady who was moving out of state, and I just put in the ad because she had tons of plus size clothing, business clothing, and by the hundreds they showed up. And I said, you're missing a big demographic here that you're not marketing to. You're marketing hip and trendy for less, but you sell these too and nobody knows it. So we have a whole ad campaign that's going out to people, and you guys won't believe this, but we can actually target Lane Bryant's page, people who are fans of Lane Bryant's page.
Wow.
And I go, oh, they got to live in this area right here, and they're a fan of Lane Bryant. Okay. Look, we carry curvy clothes too. And so that's one of the ad campaigns going out. And then we have one going out to juniors and one going out to misses. So we have that demographic right in there too. So you might be seeing some ads pulling through your feed.
I mean, just with any of them, I just use that example because I know you're familiar. Because I just wondered how that works on feeds versus going to their page and still being able to.
Yeah, so we want that ad to pull into your news feed, a cute little dress, whatever, and you'll just barely even notice that at the top it says sponsored,
Oh, yeah,
just very light.
I've seen that. So
That's an ad. That's an ad.
Okay.
Yeah, that I have created that and put it in front of you because I think it should be real. But I want to make it look like everything else. I want to make it look cute, not like a commercial. So we'll work very hard on the image to tell a story so that it's something that you may actually. We want to stop the thumb scroll. I've got to get something going in there that stops you, that stops that swipe from going on. So what can I get? Because 90% of it happens on mobile. So how do I stop the thumb swipe? And that's our goal every day. Matter of fact, whenever my graphic artist sends back a bunch of images and I'll tell them, would you stop for that image? I wouldn't. Do it again. I would not stop for that image. Redo that. Make it stop. And there's some cool apps that make little videos, like they'll turn text into video and it moves. And so like a squirrel, people will stop because it's moving. They're not having to click on it, it's moving before they're even touching it. And they're like, whoa, what is that? So whatever ways in marketing that you can get them to stop scrolling, that's what you want to do. You want to, I don't want to say trick them, but you got to get their behavior. You got to get something that catches their attention because it's a noisy marketing world. Everybody wants their attention. So you got to just figure out, as a consumer, what would stop you? What would you stop and look at? Like those videos, the ones where they're holding up the signs and you just sit there and keep reading the silly signs they pop up. And I'll never even click on it, listen to the music because you know it's sad. So I just sit and read. I'll read the whole thing, get to their whole story. Like because something was moving, they started immediately with words that I could read and I knew what their message was really quick. So to me, that's a creative way to stop me from scrolling. It gets me every time I stop, just about every time. You do too, you know you do. You find out about what happened to them when they was a kid. So, lost their cat, whatever. So, any other questions? No? Well, as always, it's been a pleasure. I'm going to leave these here. If you have other students that want these handouts, they're more than welcome to have them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if anybody needs to reach me, you got all of my contact info. Facebook Messenger, probably. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.